Optimization, one other topic that is city creation. Basically, we are discussing one other topic that is future creation. Future creation. Basically, we are discussing one other topic that is India account. India account. Basically, we are discussing SBI account, Amazon account, and after 2 days, basically the big earthquake is going to happen in India. So that topic actually is showing. So in this, we are going to ask one question. One person basically asked the question. Do you know what was that question? And who actually asked the question? The question was, Sunil, basically, have you got the job basically? Your income basically has started from, do you know who actually asked? That was asked by nuclear company, basically, that is the nuclear power plant group. Who is that nuclear power plant group? That basically see the chain basically. Energy companies are connected with power companies are connected with the nuclear power company. This is the chain. And these groups are connected with human body energy. Human body's energies are connected with entire city creation. And city creation means that basically everybody knows. So each and every city creation are basically connected with the human body's energies. So that is one chain of the earth planet. Now see the chain of universe. Nuclear power company are connected with the satellite group. Satellite group basically are connected with the galaxies, and galaxies are connected with the planets, two planets. So nuclear power company data basically are actually what basically? That question basically one of the person asked the question. Nuclear is actually what basically? This is nuclear only basically. So in this world basically, how many time nuclear bomb basically was fired? So assume that basically in this world around 5 times nuclear bomb basically was fired. So what is actually that basically? So one person told that basically two possibilities are there. One possibility is this chain basically just now I told basically the energy, then the human bodies, then the city creation, then the power companies, sorry, energy companies, power companies, then the nuclear power companies, and nuclear power company connected with the satellite groups are connected with the galaxy groups are connected with the planets are connected to the planets. So this chain basically, which has, which is connected basically by default, that chain basically gets break, or basically possibility is that basically that this chain basically gets connect. So 5 times basically in this world basically this has happened. That is what chain has connected or chain has broken 5 times in this world basically when the world basically started up from that time basically. So this is actually the nuclear basically. The main reason behind the nuclear bomb basically which gets blast in the world basically. Nuclear bomb actually break the chain or basically connect the chain. This is the nuclear basically. This is only the nuclear basically. If we will find the nuclear weapon word basically in the dictionary basically, it's written that basically some connection basically has to be broken or basically the connection basically has to be connect. So this connection basically is the nuclear. So one of the person told that basically are up to what level Earth planet basically has done the connection. That's why basically the nuclear bomb basically that keeps on changing basically because the sequence of the data basically that keeps on increasing and keeps on changing also sometimes. So one person basically told that basically in how many periodical basically the nuclear bomb basically get blast till now basically the world basically started around 5 times basically the nuclear bomb has done basically. So that group actually asked the question, Sunil, have you got the job now? Have you started basically your income basically? Because you told that basically you want to do marriage, you want to start your generation, you basically, and like this basically you had told. So that's why basically we asked, have you got the income? And because this satellite group basically don't know what is income, what is that, what is this, what is money. That basically they don't. They don't know this thing basically. Just now basically I don't know basically. That is the nuclear basically. I am telling you basically. So in this world basically, how many times basically the chain has broken from the universe and has connected from the universe to the earth planet. So one person basically given the answer that is 5 times. If this basically will happen, that will be the sixth time. So mostly, do you think basically this will happen? Universe group says that basically that depends upon the condition basically. So 5 times basically the nuclear bomb has already dumped. Why? To connect the chain or basically the remove the chain. So one person basically asked the question, which is that nuclear company, which is that one nuclear company, one group nuclear company, one basically can't do anything basically, one nuclear power company groups basically, who basically are connected up to the certain levels, and their connection basically keeps on changing. Sometimes basically the connection breaks, sometimes the basically connection is done. So to break the connection, to connect the connection, there is only one option in this world basically, which has given the name as a nuclear, which has given as a name as nuclear. So one person told that basically, what is nuclear basically? So this basically, this is the nuclear basically. So one person basically asked the question. This was actually asked by the nuclear power company group basically. Have you basically got the job? Have you basically started your next generation? Have you basically done the marriage? Because without marriage, basically next generation can't be start. So first, basically they ask, have you started your marriage? Then basically, have you done your marriage? Then basically, have you got the job? So the sequence is like this: have you got the job? Then basically, have you got the marriage? Then basically, have you got the next generation? That is the birth basically has happened to your family. So like this, basically the thing. Who actually asked? Nuclear group. That is this group basically. So today basically we started from this. That is the nuclear bomb. So one person basically told that basically this is the best definition of nuclear basically. And this is the only way basically why nuclear weapons basically are created. So in this world basically how many country basically have the nuclear weapon? That is only one country basically it might be having the nuclear weapon basically. So who is that country basically? Lots of people says that Russia might be. Lots of people says that India might be. Lots of people says that America might be. Lots of people says that China might be. Lots of people says that Japan might be. So whatever it's in front of the world, that basically we know that basically it's not like that. So which is that company who is there having that nuclear bomb? Who is having that nuclear bomb? So one person told that basically which country might be having and basically that might be some small company, small country basically, which is not listed, which might be having a very poor economic standard. That country only basically might be creating that weapon basically. Because one day they have to do that. One day they have to use that weapon. Basically. One day they have to use that weapon because connection happened, connection broken. There is only one option in this world, that is nuclear bomb. Or you can say as a it's a modern world, so it's a digital world, so you can add this word as a nuclear missile. Because nowadays basically it's a digital world, so there basically bomb will not work, the missile will work, because it's a digital world basically. So it's a nuclear missile basically, that you can say. So you can just imagine basically up to what level the world basically has already created. So one of the person told they, matlab, this is basically real or basically you, this we are just telling like that only basically. Sunil, one of the person basically, scientist basically asked the question. Sorry, not scientist basically. The one of the software company basically asked the question. Then Sunil Arnaya told that you just check basically. You verify this basically. if you can verify this. Just now, basically, whatever things basically I told, because you every time basically you verify basically. One person was Sunil Arna told that basically I know that person basically. So they basically started verifying basically. Really, I know that person not basically. Now you verify this also. The thing basically which I just now told basically, that is correct or wrong basically. That is correct or sahi. Sorry, correct or wrong. Correct or wrong. Correct or गलत. गलत है क्या सही है? That is in Hindi basically. So you can just imagine basically the creation which is already done. Lots of people says that basically in this nuclear basically few experts groups are basically there. In India basically everybody knows that basically God is the main. God is the energy basically. Beyond that basically there is no energy. So in this some God groups are basically connected with that nuclear missile. It can be any God group basically. We can't disclose the name basically, but can't have the name also. Why? Because whatever things are basically in front of the world, that all are wrong. Basically. That all are wrong. So here, what is the thing? Connection done, connection done, connection broken. That's all basically. That is the definition of nuclear. So one person told that basically there are many times basically the nuclear bomb basically might have fired basically. But that basically never came into the picture also basically. It might possible that also basically it's possible. Because you are knowing when basically that war basically is ongoing. Through news channel only, na, basically. But there are many countries basically where war always basically is there. But that never has been displayed in front of the public basically. There are many countries basically. So it might possible that many time nuclear weapon basically might have used. And that basically never able to track that basically. Why? Because you will not able to track na basically. If you will know the thing basically, then only you are going to track. And how you are going to know? That is the communication chain basically. That is who? The news channel basically. Or basically you are present there basically. Near around countries. But that country basically never going to use where the normal public basically are staying. So that might be those countries or basically might be those Ireland basically which are far from the earth, far from the public area. So there are many countries basically which periodically basically gets the nuclear attack. But that never has been tracked by the public, by the news channel, by the why? Because connection chain done, connection chain broken. That is the periodical task basically. That keeps on happening basically. To do that basically there is only one weapon, that is missile basically. Because it's a digital world. So we are using the word missile. So that is a nuclear missile basically. So one person told that which is that country basically, which might be that countries basically where this type of activity happens. So one person told that that country might be that country basically, which is not listed in the map basically, MAP, that is Naksha. Because if it's within the map, then basically the news channel basically always gets connects. Because news channel basically task is that basically wherever basically the news comes, that has to be displayed in front of the public. So if and they have basically the condition within the map basically you have to use that set basically you have to connect with to those countries only which are basically listed in the map basically. So here basically it might be that country which is never listed in the map basically. There are many countries basically which is not listed in the map. So that country basically periodically basically gets the nuclear attack, and in that basically area the whole world energy basically are connected. So whole world energies connecting to that country, and that country basically connecting to the satellites, then galaxy, this like this. That country done the nuclear bomb, blasted the nuclear missile. That country basically, half of the part country basically ended. Chain basically got broken basically, and chain basically added also. Two times basically are there because one country few areas ended, but at that same time basically another country is already created. So the chain will get connect to that country, and then basically the connection will start. So one person told that we actually never thought up to this level basically. Why? Because there are many countries basically which is not listed in the map basically. Then how we are going to track that? So that energy is not existing in the world only. If energy will exist, then only the SMS group basically will track. Because SMS group basically knows each and every country's data. That is a mobile industry basically. They knows each and every data basically of the world. Why? Because they have the list of that country basically. That's why in the map basically. So from that map only basically they are going to take the data. Na? From if the map exists, then only basically the communication channel basically that are the tower or whatever basically are going to be placed in that country. But if the data is not basically in the map, and data basically are taken from where basically from the government, na, basically government gives the data. So there are many governments basically whose country basically is not connected with this government. There are two types of governments that also you can say. One is that nuclear bomb group basically, that is a nuclear missile group. They basically know whole world basically. They are connected with the whole world basically. When that country gets sent, connection basically broken, and immediately basically the connection basically has happened to another country. So connection done also from one nuclear missile. So one person told that basically this is real or basically this is wrong here basically. मतलब correct है या wrong है basically. That is also question है basically. Whether really this is correct or not. Periodically lots of people say that nuclear missile, nuclear missile. But there are many countries basically there periodically nuclear missile basically gets blast basically. But that never has been tracked basically. Why? Because that country basically is not in the map. So how basically the world basically might be tracking that basically here basically the nuclear missile basically has dumped, and the chain has broken and chain basically has connected to other country. So how that might be tracking? Because without tracking basically the Earth planet basically will not able to track. So how they might be tracking this? There might be some reason basically. So lots of people say that how that might be tracking. Yeah, what is a tracking system basically which is created by the world creator basically? Then they told that what might be that system? They say that sometimes basically they say that they have basically had some new animal. Whenever basically the chain gets broken, new animal basically gets birth. New animal gets birth. That means the new animal birth means the new human also basically going to get connect. So like this basically also basically few people says that like this basically they are also keeping the track of. So one person basically asked the question when this animal basically was got birth in Earth planet. So he told that basically when that nuclear bomb basically was sorry nuclear missile was dumped into that country, na basically that time basically it was done. So that was the answer basically. So in next video basically we are going to see little bit more about this topic that is Sunil, have you got the job? This was asked by the nuclear power company groups. That is this.